see the rugby ground from here as well.
Lovely, isn't it? Wingy Boxing, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I'm here with a smooth voice of boxing, John Rawling. How do I get a smooth voice of boxing instead of sounding like a black Mr. Bean? Give me some tips.
Just keep doing it long enough and it'll work.
Oh, it'll work, yeah. How are you feeling? How's everything? Everything good?
Good, yeah. Looking forward to it. We're busy at the moment, aren't we? You know, press conferences just about every day, and here we are again. And looking forward to a good show here in Leicester, and seeing Sam topping the bill. It'll be a great atmosphere, I'm sure. And he's potentially, if he makes a bit of a statement here, looks good. He's going to be getting himself into Leicester folklore potentially in a way that's going back a few years. Tony Simpson and Chris Pyatt did back in the 80s and 90s.
That's it. We're here at the Sam Bowen McCrory card. This is the presser. What are your thoughts of Sam Bowen? Because I'm a Leicester lad. I wasn't born in Leicester, born in Luton, but been in Leicester for the last 8 years. And there's a a lot of buzz going into the sort of like Woodstock's fight against Sharp, because people wanted Woodstock to win, and then that would match up with Sam Bowen. But obviously Woodstock lost that fight, and now we've got Sam Bowen on a bit of a different path. What do you think of Sam Bowen as a prospect, and could he lift like Leicester boxing big time as some are looking for?
Well, he looks the business. I mean, whether or not he's at world level yet is open to question. I don't think he'd say that he's about to go out there and beat Gervonta Davis, for instance. But I wish I had 10 quid for every time Carl Greaves had told me what a hot prospect he is and how he's going to be making big names and big ripples in the division. And he's done everything. He's done everything right so far. He's not a braggart. He's one of those fighters who chooses to do his talking inside the ring, to use an appropriate cliche. But he looks talented, and in the British division, this is a British title defence. And he's got the capability to clean up as if he wants to. I think win a Lonsdale belt outright. Obviously, the Woodstock fight's a possibility down the line if Leon manages to keep winning. Archie Sharp as well, a very attractive fight somewhere down the line. But yeah, I mean, Sam looks as though he's got the ability.
Nathan Gorman, Kevin Johnson. Now that was a bit of a last-minute one for Gorman, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That fight. Fans are going to compare. That's naturally going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to look at Daniel Dubois' performance and compare it. How do you think Nathan's going to perform in this? Because he's more of a boxer with speed as opposed to the one-punch type of fighter.
Kevin can take anything that's thrown at him, can't he? He's a big, tough guy who knows how to block punches, knows how to stifle attacks, and knows how to survive. Since the fight against Daniel Dubois, he's had a couple of easy wins against a low-ranked fighter, and then he's had a defeat after that against an up-and-coming boxer from Eastern Europe. He'll be here just to go the rounds. I think I very much doubt that Kevin Johnson's going to come here with too much attacking intent. Now the question is whether or not Nathan's going to be able to do what Daniel Dubois didn't. Daniel got rid of Kojanu, who went the distance with Nathan Gorman and got him out in 2 rounds. Now what Nathan, I'm sure, would love to do is get one of those very rare stoppages against Kevin Johnson. Whether or not he can do it, well, we'll see. He throws bundles of punches for a heavyweight, Nathan. And I think what Ricky Hatton and Mike Jackson, his trainers, would like to see him do is just sit down on the shots a little bit more, put a bit more into them, and show the punters and show the rest of the division that he has got a bigger punch and more power than he's given credit for. He's got bags of boxing ability, but as ever in the heavyweight division, at the very top, I think a bit of power is absolutely essential if you're going to go all the way, and Nathan's going to want to be showing that.
Everything is on course. We are all assuming for Gorman and Dubois to sort of meet at the end of the year. From the bubblings that you're hearing behind the scenes, is that still the plan?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I was speaking to Frank Warren yesterday about this, and he said, yeah, absolutely. This is the intention. Before the end of the year, we're looking to do that fight. It's a question of building it up, and it is about the fans out there, people watching on BT, people who pay their money and coming along, and people who watch online. You know, it's about people making their own decisions. It's about the building of a rivalry, and it's there. The two fighters want it. They've sparred numerous rounds in England, in Britain, Great Britain training camps in years gone by. So they know all about each other, and they're ready for the fights. But it's a question of making it when commercially it makes the most sense. You know, it's a top of the bill fight, and it's a big fight when it happens. But it's a much bigger fight if they get 2 or 3 more wins each, and it's done at the back end of this year rather than done right now.
And Sam Maxwell is out against Sabiri Sadiri. What do you think of Sam Maxwell as a prospect?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good fighter. Really good fighter. He's come up. He's been a very talented amateur. He's come to the professional ranks relatively late, but they're building him quickly. Sam has got masses of talent, huge talent, and he's a very likeable and articulate lad, as people will be beginning to realise now. The guy he's fighting has come in, the Frenchman has come in at short notice for this fight tomorrow. He's a decent amateur in the past. He's fought mainly as a lightweight, and I think that. But speaking to Sam, he says he's had a look a bit at him, and he's heard about him, and he says he's a bit of a fiddler, he's a mover, and he expects to get a few rounds under the belt against him, and he's going to provide perhaps a different sort of test to some of the people that he's faced so far. But in answer to your first question, Sam Maxwell, yeah, I'm a fan. He's working with Danny Vaughan up there with the MTK gym up outside Glasgow. He's coming on well. He's adapting beautifully to the pro ranks, and I think in that super lightweight division, he's a real talent. And at the age of 30, he'll have moved on quickly.
What went through your mind, John, at the Galahad Warrington conference when everybody in the background was getting leery, and I saw you trying to calm it down? You did quite a good job, actually.
Thank you.
Keeping people calm. What went through your mind? Do you think it's going to kick off at that point, or
no?
You've seen that loads of times.
No. I didn't see it kicking off. I think Dominic got a bit riled with a couple of the guys in the crowd who were barracking, and it's the whole drugs issue. Kid Galahad has tested positive in the past and has served a suspension for the use of an anabolic steroid. It's an issue. The Josh Warrington camp feels strongly about it, and from my position, asking the questions and fronting up the press conference, it's relevant to be asking the questions of Kid Galahad and of Dominic Ingle. When you get to this fight, can you give a 100% guarantee that you're coming into this contest absolutely clean? I took some stuff online from people who said, that's a provocative question. What's been done, what's done is done. And yeah, I hear that, and I agree with that. We all make mistakes in life, and we move on. But I'd absolutely 100% defend my right to ask that question about what's gone on in the past, and whether or not now, 5 years later, 2019, he's coming towards this absolutely 100% clean, and if he accepts responsibility, does he accept any degree of remorse? And I think that's valid.
2 questions. WBO have ordered Yard Kovalev. Do you think it's going to happen, and how do you think Yard performs if it does happen in that fight?
Well, I think it will happen. I know there's an enormous amount of scepticism online among the Twittering classes, and on Instagram, people saying that this fight is not going to happen, and how can Tunde Jay possibly say that he's on the A side of the promotion and he'll never go to America? The fact of the matter is that boxing, as you know, is a business, and if it generates more money for Sergei Kovalev to come over to the UK and to defend his title here, then that is what's going to happen. He came over here and he fought Nathan Cleverly here. He fought Jean Pascal in Canada. Kovalev is the sort of fighter who doesn't back down.
That's what I was thinking.
He'll think that it's going to be something he'll think that he's too big, got too much behind him, and is at a different level. On the other hand, Anthony Yard and Tunde Ajay think, perhaps with justification, that Kovalev is not where he was a year or two ago, and not the same fighter that he was before Andre Ward got hold of him. And Tunde was there at ringside when Alvarez knocked him out. And I think he can rightly say that Anthony Yard is a bigger puncher and a more dangerous puncher, albeit against a lower level of opposition than Alvarez is. And boxing is absolutely all about timing. And I think that they might just have got it right. Frank Warren is a proven brilliant gambler on putting people into those big fights absolutely at the right time. And I think had it been down to him, he'd have had Anthony Yard in against Kovalev before now. But I think that it will absolutely happen, and I think that if the money stacks up, and if everybody, if the television company likes it, and if it's got the makings of a big enough promotion over here, then 100%, yes, I think that fight will happen.
John Rawling, thanks as always for giving me your time. I'll let you crack on with business. I'm going to work on my smooth voice. And thanks for speaking to Wingy Boxing IFL TV. Thank you, brother.
No problem, no problem.